everybody, it's Cindy A. Lewis, and I just wanted to let you know that we're going to be putting together our signatures for our junk journals today. We will not be sewing them, but we will be putting them together and prepping them. So before we start, I want to welcome you to my channel. Thank you so much. It's everybody's channel, actually. Thank you all for being a part of my YouTube family. I love you all. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you watching and sharing and commenting. I get behind on comments sometimes, but thank you so much. If you're new though, welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoy this video. Do all kinds of fun videos and hauls and DIYs projects and all kinds of stuff. And right now this video is going to be making the signatures, which are the page sections that go into our junk journal. Now I'm doing two. Everyone following along, I hope you've picked out your pages. Now this one is made from a book that we removed the text block from, and we'll be covering the inside after we do our signatures, not today, but in another video. Or if you don't have that option, you can take a couple of cracker boxes and put together your own cover. And those videos are on my channel and linked below in the playlist junk journals and more, something like that. Okay, so this video, we're going to prepare our the first signature, and I'm going to show you how to sew it together. So I hope you've gotten your pages. Your pages, again, can consist of scrapbook paper, pages from a book, coffee dyed paper. You can easily do that, or just about any kind of paper, notebook paper, ledger paper, an envelope, even a paper sack. So however you want to do that. And then you put them together by, I alternate, and I did that in another video. And then I also found I had this old Life magazine from 1956, a December 17th issue that I picked up at a flea market. And it has some really cool little pictures in it that I think I'm going to incorporate into my journal. Isn't this the cutest 7-Up picture? And then they had other ones. They have, you know, like a Chesterfield. And you can tell it's really old. You can see that. But there's all kinds of pictures. So you can use just anything that you would like to use to create your junk journal. So I think I'm going to use this 7-Up picture if I don't see another one that I like better. But these old magazines, this one's cute. Look at these old elves. These old magazines, you know, they might get thrown away or whatever, and I like to take them and reuse them and make them part of something special so they're never ever lost. Look at this Christmas tree black and white picture. That is awesome. I mean, you can find just about anything, and I think this cost me like, you know, $1 or 50 cents or something at a flea market. Look, there's Santa. I mean, there's so many pictures that you could use and then just make them a part of your journal. Look at that art link letter. That's amazing. So anyway, I'm going to take out one of these and put it with my journal, or two maybe, and I'm going to show you how to put your pages together. Your signature pages do not all have to be 8.5 by 11 folded, but you do fold them, and you do not want them peeking out over your binder cover. So if it needs to be a little bit smaller, you can do that, and they can all be different sizes on the inside. As you saw in here, I have an envelope, and I'm going to fold that in half and use that as one of my pages. So I picked this page, and I already know that this page is larger than 8.5 by 11, and I really want to capture this when I fold it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just measure this. I'm going to take this off, this top part. Sorry about that. I am going to take this top part off. So let me do that part. And maybe I might want to keep it for something else. We'll see. All right, so that is going to be to the top. You can see And now I'm gonna measure it, and if I go 8.5, then it cuts right here, and that's great. Actually, I thought I should back up my camera just a little bit. I like to get you close in, but sometimes backing up is a little bit better. All right, now I was able to save this, so I'm gonna use that in my journal. Now, when I put this one inside here and I fold it in half, I can fold it like this, or I can fold it like this, so that when I open the page, I'm gonna have it on my left side. You see? All right, so I'm gonna do that with my other pages. I'll just show you right here. This one's really cute. Let me measure it and see where the 8.5 is. 8.5 is about right here. So I really want to capture this baby. So I'm gonna come down to where the picture actually is there. I'm gonna save these bits and pieces because you never know when you want to use those. So now I'm gonna cut this. I'm cutting the top of the tree off though, but I wanted to capture the children. So now when I fold this in half, see, I can cover this. That is gonna be covered with pockets and other things. So now you can see my signature is starting to come together, and I may put them in a different order. Now I'm going to go ahead and measure this page. This page is from a children's book, and I need it to be 8.5 by 11. I mean, well, not much bigger than 8.5. And I really like this, but I really like this also. I don't know. I'll do it this way. All right, so 8.5. Oh, there we go. I think something was in the track here. All right, that's okay because that's part of being a junk journal. All right, so now when I fold this in half, it's gonna be a little bit smaller than these because they're not as wide, but that's okay. So you can see it works good like this. All right. Okay, we're prepping our pages. So this is my coffee dyed 8.5 by 11 piece of copy paper. So I'm just gonna fold that in half and put that with my signatures. Now this is a 12 by 12 page, and it has an edge on it. I'm gonna cut that edge off because I don't wanna use that in any of my measurements. And make sure I'm even. And I'm gonna pull that out. Now this is double-sided, which is really nice. And I want to have the height of my paper the 8.5, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this to 8.5. Now, one thing that's really cool is you don't have to cut it. You can score it and make a pocket. Maybe we'll do that first. So right here where it would be 8.5, we need to know that we're going to make a pocket. And the way that you do that, let me show you. All right, if you don't have a scoring tool or a trimmer score board, you can just measure and use a ruler and maybe a pencil, and then you'll know where to fold. If you do have a scoring tool, you want to score, so this is 12, so I'm gonna score at 3.5 here on my board, and I'm going to fold on the 3.5. All right, so you can see that score a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and fold it on the score line, and I have my tool. If you don't have a bone folder, you can use anything to fold your paper. Now, if I fold this in half, this is gonna be bigger, or about the right size, but a little bit wider than I need it to be, because this is more than 11 inches. So I'm gonna cut an inch off so that it fits inside my book correctly. I'm just gonna cut that off. And now when I fold it in half, this will be my center of my signature. So I'm going to fold this in half, and I'm just going to use this tool since I have it right here. And then when I sew it, I automatically have the beginnings of pockets in the center. So I'm going to put this right here. Okay, so this will be my center, but I don't need that quite yet. I wanted to show you that. Now I've got my notebook paper. I'm just going to fold that in half. That's going to be in the center, in my signature. And then I have another coffee dye paper, folded in half. So this is your prepping that you need to do in order to sew your signature or put your signature together. All right, if you're going to use an envelope, you just fold it in half and you decide where you want your envelope to go in your journal. You want to make sure that it goes in the center somewhere so that it does get caught when you do sew your signatures into your binder. All right, the last page I have is this 8.5 by 11. I'm going to go ahead and cut off this edge right here that I don't need. I'm going to cut that off. And then this one, I need to make sure that it stands up, because the deer stand up. I want it to stand up this way. So I need to cut off 3.5 inches. So it'll be 8.5. And measure correctly. I'm going to pull that down. Now, you can see that my page is a little bit bigger, about an inch bigger than 8 inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this inch and I'm going to fold it in, and that will be a little tuck spot for my journal. Now, this will be a little tuck spot. I'll put a little double stick tape or glue on the top edges, and then I have a little tuck spot for my little notes or whatever it is that we decide we want to put in our journal. All right, so now I have all the pages for my journal for one signature. Okay, so let me show you. I've put together one of my signatures. This is going to be one signature. You can see it hangs out a little bit. That's quite all right. They can be all kinds of sizes and everything. So because I'm not sewing mine together yet, but I want to decorate it before I put it inside my journal, I'm going to take some paper clips, and so I can help it stay together on either side. And then I can start decorating it before I sew it in. You could also sew it in to your junk journal and then decorate it. But sometimes it's easier if you can just take the page out, manipulate the page and everything. So let me just show you how it looks put together without the sewing, of course. This will be one signature composed of 10 or so pages. So I have that page, then I have this one from the magazine, this page, and these can all be decorated. And you can see how it starts coming together. And there's my notebook paper, which I will make it aged looking. Here's my center with my pockets. Then here we go, and we'll decorate all these pages. And I would like for you to mention below if you want a decorating, if you want to decorate together. In other words, you want me to work with you on decorating the pages, what I choose, how I choose the pockets that I use. That may be a little bit longer video, but it may be one that will spur your creative juices to get flowing. And so this is one of my signatures, and they're going to be 3. And then they will be sewn. I will sew them inside my journal like this. So I'm going to go ahead and put my other ones in order. And now and then I'll show you at the end of the video. The next thing I want to show you that I would like for you to get together that you'll want to get together before we go to sew into the journal. And that will be some either embroidery floss. Then you need you need a pointed tool that you can poke your holes through. If you do want to use a hole punch, you want to make sure it's a small one. You don't want a big, huge hole. Then like a pen and a piece of graph paper. Now what I use is graph paper. You don't have to use graph paper, but it does help you with your lines and keeping your space together. That's what I used on a previous one. Then you'll need a needle. And now I use these decorator needles. They're long. This is a 4-inch needle here. And then you'll put your floss on here, or you can use waxed thread, which is what I have here. This is a spool of waxed thread, and I just bought it from Amazon. You can get it at Walmart too. And you can get it at other craft stores. So anyway, you will need that for sewing in your journal. We're not doing that part today. I'm going to put together my other signatures and show you how they look. Okay, so for this journal, I have my 3 signatures. I've already shown you this one, and that one's ready to decorate. This one is got some really pretty paper. It's got that map in here that I wanted to include, a storybook page. You can see I put just some scrapbook paper and some coffee dyed paper, and then I also put in just a little graph paper. And then on the other end, you'll see the other side of those pages. I may switch this out and I may put this one in the middle, but we'll see. So that one's ready to decorate. And now I have this one. This one I used the paper bag with. I'm going to show you about that. So here's another signature. It's going to be really pretty. You can see I've used my scrapbook page, my paper from my book that I wanted to use, a song from an old hymnal, Old Little Town of Bethlehem. Here is my paper bag. Now all I need to do is to trim this bag, and when I sew it in, I'm going to have a slide-in pocket. It's going to be really, really cute. And then here are the rest. I did go ahead and make a pocket for this one. I'll decorate those. And then here you go. Here's the other side of the bag. You can see it hangs over too. I can cut that, or I can actually leave it sticking out however I want to do that. And then you can see how the rest of the pages fit in. These will be sewed into this junk journal that I'm creating. We won't sew these in until they're decorated. Now these signatures, which are 3, is composed of about 30 different items. 10 scrapbook pages, 10 coffee dyed papers. Now we're going to do a hidden spine for this one, so you won't see any stitching on the outside. I'm actually going to use some book cloth and sew my signatures into that, and then the book cloth will be glued into the center of the spine. For this journal, I haven't put my signatures together quite yet, but I will do that. And then what we'll do in this one is we're actually going to sew through this spine with our signatures. So we're going to decorate the inside of this one completely before we sew our signatures in. When we sew our signatures into the book cloth, it's a linen book cloth. I'll show you when we get ready to do that. We're going to decorate this side and this side after we glue in the book cloth so that we can make sure all our edges are covered. So I just want to try to explain that a little bit. I've already picked out the inside pages. I'm going to take this one and cut it out and put it in the back. And then this one will probably be in the front, either the poinsettias or the cute stripe. I haven't decided yet. So that is how you put your signatures. You prep and put your signatures together. I hope you enjoyed that, inspired you in some way. I'll show you the pages for the Cracker Box Junk Journal at the end of the video. Thanks so much for watching.